Escape the City is an online community of young professionals who want to do something different with their careers. So it's a platform that provides exciting options for people who are in the corporate mainstream and looking to use their skills in unconventional, original ways.
The philosophy really was born out of a frustration for the work that we were doing at the time, and also the fact that it's very difficult to get into the city, but it's also very difficult to get out of the city. When you're in it, it's very difficult to kind of see out of that corporate mainstream and see what the other options are.
We've spoken to a few graduates who've graduated in '08 and '09, and people leaving uni this year who've said, what a relief I don't have that pressure to conform to the expected path of high-flying top 20 UK graduates to go into the city. Those options aren't open to me this year, or there are fewer options, so I'm actually going to have a really good think about what I really personally want to do, rather than feeling pressure from society, parents, pressure you put on yourself to kind of go that mainstream route without really necessarily knowing if it's for you. Obviously, there are people who've always known they wanted to be lawyers or bankers or accountants. Maybe not that many of them, but, so you know what I mean. Doing a job that you really care about, to me, strikes me as the most important thing you could look for in your job, because it takes up a lot of the middle chunk of your life and a lot of the hours in the week within that. Some people aren't as defined by the work that they do as others. Personally, I found that I really got a sense of identity from the work that I did. So if I wasn't personally really engaged in the objectives of the work, I found it very hard to motivate myself. Now that I'm doing something that I'm genuinely passionate about, life feels that much better, really motivated, happy about things, how things are going. And to me, it feels like a really important ingredient for work.
We get there's a lot of talk about the job market and coming out of recession. The opportunities are coming out, but they're not still quite there. But we get so many opportunities that come into us all the time, and to say that the opportunities are not there is a complete myth. We're still very much finding it. It's tough. It is tough. It's difficult to make the jump. It is a big jump from working for a company with 130,000 people to working with a company with one other bloke. And so that transition is quite difficult. But there are a couple of things. I think there are so many positives, and the positives all outweigh the negatives. But it's not to be underestimated, the financial backing. If you're kind of supporting yourself, especially, it can be very difficult. And that's not to be underestimated. But the learning that you get out of it, it really is, it kind of far outweighs all of the stuff I've done before in my previous career. That I've learned so much in the 6 months that we've been doing this, that it's been an awesome experience.
Main ingredients of a successful startup. Firstly, couldn't do it by myself. I think having someone who you share your vision with is really important. Being able to build something between you bigger and better than either of you could have done individually. So really lucky on that front that we
Definitely.
we kind of built that team between us. The other things are, one thing that feels right is that if you build something that you wish had existed back when it didn't exist, and you know there are enough people who also feel the same as you, you're surely heading in the right direction, because you're building a product or a platform or a service that people are looking for. So that was very much the experience with Escape the City. We looked at ourselves a year ago and went, well, there we were in what seemed like a good job, feeling unfulfilled and looking for something else. We then realised that dozens and dozens of hundreds of other people were feeling the same. Well, if we can build something that meets that demand, then we're on the right track. In terms of grassroots approaches to helping young people get work, I think there's a lot that can be done. There seems to be a lot that is going on, almost catalysed by the recession. I think it's very important that the recession isn't seen as an opportunity for organisations to just get free labour from a whole load of graduates and take on a whole load of work experience people, keep them for months on end and not pay them. doesn't strike me as fair. Having said that, that is one of the main routes that people take when they leave university or even when they leave school, and they look to go and try and get their foot on the ladder, because you need to build up your experience in your CV. I think there probably are more creative ways in which organizations can build schemes to help people rotate through different companies. Obviously, startups that help people get work in places that might not have seemed automatically obvious to them. Organizations that help people get entrepreneurial work placements like internships. So, but it strikes me that this is an area where there's a huge demand if someone builds something to really meet it. It's very interesting the extent to which young people who have got out of the education system and are kind of used to doing the next thing that's expected of them, and they get to the big wide world and they're looking at the job market, and they don't necessarily know, even if they're really good people, where they should start digging. So I think any kind of company, website, information resource that shows them options that they didn't know existed before is really valuable.
Someone told me about Escape City a year ago. What would my reaction be? It would be it would be like, yes, this is just what I wanted. These are the jobs I wanted to know about when I was stuck at my desk and thinking, what did I want to do? I just didn't have any idea what the other options were outside of my next project. Escape City in 5 years' time, hopefully, will have helped many thousands of people in jobs that they don't are not inspired by, out of them into things that really make them tick. Now, the exact numbers of how many people we want to get out are up for debate. But 5 years' time, an established platform for it to be very much self-funding, self-sustaining, and it to continue to help people figure out what they want to do next with their lives.